So happy to see all of you here. My name is Lars Nelson. This is Brian Connolly of Vulcan Video.
Hello.
And we're here to present a show that many of us thought would never, ever happen. And I'm still not sure it's going to happen. Something's bound to, a meteorite's going to hit us or something. But we're here for a show that we call, thanks to our good friend Zach Carlson, who came up with the name
Chester Turner Overdrive. I had to talk to my therapist about this event. I was so nervous. I couldn't believe this. I was like, I can't believe this is happening. How's this real? How's this going to happen? We're going to show these movies with Chester Turner here, with the lead actress Shirley here. Like, this is crazy. This is nuts.
It's really unbelievable because it was going to be just Chester Turner Overdrive. Having Chester Novell Turner, the man who made Black Devil Doll from Hell and Tales from the Quadead Zone in the house was just more than we could ever imagine. And then a couple of days ago, we got a phone call, and we found out that Shirley L. Jones, star of the movie.
It's like all of his birthday is happening right now. The building's going to explode because so much birthday is happening right now.
So what we're going to do is we're going to watch Chester Turner's cut, which is not the cut that most of you have seen. It's a somewhat longer cut of Black Devil Doll from Hell, which is actually available on the DVDs that you saw out there, which they're probably going to run out of. So, like, at the end of the night, you want to totally go out there and buy those. But the DVDs that you see there is Chester Turner's cut of that. It also includes the other cut that has the David Ichikawa heavy metal song at the beginning that we all know and love. But you get to see Chester's real cut of that. And then we're going to come up and we're going to have the most barn-burning Q&A that's ever happened. The greatest Q&A, which will go on for, I don't know, 7 to 10 hours, probably. And then we're going to watch Tales from the Quadead Zone again.
Woo!
The Quadead Zone. That means there are 3 stories. 3 amazing stories. And that's mastered from Chester Turner's own master VHS tape. And then, after that's over, Chester and Shirley are going to go to the lobby and they're going to hang out. And you're welcome to go and buy the tapes or buy the DVDs and get their autographs, or if you just want to stop by and say hi. So that'll be the kind of final question and answer period of the night where you go over and go, if you have questions like that. I encourage you to have better questions than that, but have questions.
So I helped run Vulcan Video. Lars came to me and said, hey, does Vulcan Video want to sponsor this show? And without thinking, I was like, of course, whatever you want, we're there, let's do it. So
immediately he gave me $12.
But we're very thrilled to be a part of this. Like, there isn't a true history of home video without the films of Chester Turner. Also, we're going to give away some stuff between the 2 movies, and we taped under some of the seats some free rental cards. So feel in your seats if you have one. If not, steal from your neighbor. There should be 5 or 6 out there. Just grab it, taped to the bottom of the seat you're sitting on. And please come down to either of our locations to get a free rental. So awesome. And thanks for coming, because all the rich jerks went to see Goblin tonight. This is true blue collar, awesome. True blue collar, awesome. Forget those rich snobs.
And I apologize.
$1 for that Euro trash.
Calm down.
All right. It's fine. If you like, it's fine.
I apologize to all of you who, instead of finding a Vulcan gift card, found boogers underneath the seat. That may have been me. All right, so right now, I can't believe my heart's pounding.
You feel my heart.
What we're going to do right now, we're going to bring to the stage right now. We're going to bring to the stage right now Chester Novell Turner. Woo!
I guess I'm going to get a chance to talk to you guys right after this movie. Okay. And thanks so much for coming.
Anything you want to say to the audience to prepare the people who haven't seen it?
Well, we're going to do Black Devil Part 2 and Black Devil Part 1.5, which is going to be in Tales from the Quadead on Part 2.
All right, thank you. We'll see you after the show. Thank you so much.
All right, light, please. All right. We'd like to bring back to the stage Chester Turner and Shirley Jones. All right. Did you guys like the movie? All right. You guys get real chairs. We're just going to sit up here, and you get microphones, and we'll just yell. So I think that's fair. Welcome back to the stage.
Thank you.
So happy to see you. So I got a question. I want to ask the first question. We'll throw this to the audience in a second. But so now that movie, you look at the credits. There was actually a lot of people working on that movie, right?
No. We made up those names because we didn't feel nobody wanted to see Chester Turner, Shirley Jones, Keith over and over again. we wouldn't have had enough room for any songs. It's 3 names, basically. Yeah, that was rough.
So I'll throw this out to you in a second. So the story is actually, it's a really good story there, like about sexual repression and like how it turns around. Like, where did the whole idea for the story come from?
I do a lot of writing, and I was sitting at the table in the kitchen one day, and I started writing. Actually, the Black Devil Doll was going to be one of these stories in Tales from the Quadead Zone. So I started writing that, and it took me 3.5 days. And all I did was eat, use the bathroom, and write. I just couldn't stop writing this story. And then when I got through with it, I realized that this was just going to be too long. And so I said, this can stand as a movie by itself. And so I did that.
Shirley, when you first heard the story, what did you think?
I could do that.
She's very bold.
So, what inspired you to actually make a movie? So many people have ideas in their head and don't act on it, but you acted on it twice. So what drove you to sit down and spend 3 days just eating and writing?
I just thought it was worth making. And, that was really my motivation. And also, too, once I wrote it, I said, okay, I'm going to have to learn the technical part of filmmaking. If I can, learn all of the things about lighting, cameras, and sound, and editing, and all of that. So I had to go to school, corresponding courses, and then it took me, I think, about 8 months in which to get that down. Then I had to get some money, okay? So mostly my money and my mother helped finance this movie. Okay, so that's how that came about.
What did you think?
I didn't hear you.
What did your mother think of the movie when it's done?
Do you really want to know? She thought I was crazy. No, she really told me, hey, that's what you wanted to do, follow your dream and just go on and do it. And afterwards, but I kind of figured that she thought it was a strange movie.
I wonder why she'd think that.
Because it's a strange movie.
I'm going to throw this back to the audience here, but I got one question for Shirley. Where is the puppet?
Where's the puppet? I got him.
still got the puppet?
No, I don't have
I'm gonna tell you really what happened to the puppet, really.
right.
This is really what happened. He went back to that store, carrying his box over the railroad tracks. Okay? The store, probably, the owner of the store had it in for the doll. And one thing led to another, and I believe that's what happened to the doll. He's on the road somewhere.
Road, okay. By the way, was the owner of the store really about this tall? Or was that an optical illusion?
No, she's really that tall. Actually, she's about this tall.
You look taller on film, so you know. So for the audience, please have some questions here. I want to throw this out. Oh, yeah, right back here.
I was wondering if you could talk about the music itself. Like, what do you make the music on?
A Casio keyboard. Yeah, an inexpensive one at that.
Not one of those big expensive.
No.
Anybody else? Oh, right back here. Yeah.
Can you talk about what happened with the cut that we've seen recently? The one before, the one you just released, where we've got this heavy metal music with this other person?
How did that happen?
Hollywood Video put that silly music on a movie. They did that without my permission, and I really didn't like it. It didn't fit. And I think they did it for the guy whose name, I can't even remember his name, would have a credit on something.
David Ichikawa.
Yeah. Is that Japanese?
Yeah.
Well, that's what they did. But thank God I had the original copy, so that could have been corrected.
So this, they actually gave it the title, Black Devil Doll from Hell, because you would originally called it The Puppet, right?
Yes, I did. Right.
So was that a happy relationship with that company that put the tapes out?
At first it was, until I didn't get, until they didn't pay me. Then it became a terrible relationship.
So you talked a little bit about, we'll get another question for you in a second, but you did talk a little bit about making those tapes, and you guys together would just dub off like a bunch of tapes. You would rent VCRs, right?
Yeah, we did that in Chicago, and we did it in Alabama. Okay, and then we let, what was this, Shirley, the company, Hollywood Video, take it all the places they were going to take it. And I think I got less than $1,000 for that movie from the people. And that really discouraged me from making another movie for a minute. Then I said to myself, me and Shirley talked, I said, still, let's just make this movie Tales of the Quadead song. And let's try to distribute it ourselves. And so that's what we did at first, you know. And I don't think we sold more than maybe 200-300 copies that I'm aware of. And so I made more money off those 200 or 300 copies than I did off all of the money that Larry Fine gave us. You know.
So how did you distribute when you were distributing Tales from the Quadead Zone? How did you get it in video stores?
Store by store. We'd drive down the street, see a video store, get out of the car. She would go sometimes, I would go some other times, and that's how it was done.
Shirley, were you taking your motorcycle
I
around?
was riding my bike.
I wasn't with her when she was on that bike.
Was it easy to sell to these stores? Were they instantly like, yeah, we'll take that, like Devil Doll from Hell?
I figured that if we went to 10 stores, maybe 4 to 6, maybe 4 or 5 would take the movie. They were just impressed with the fact that I was out here selling my own movie to them. A lot of the copies I and Shirley autographed, and that's how that, that's how that went.
Shirley, did you ever have any trouble? Because you live in Alabama and Chester lives up in Chicagoland. Did you ever have any problem in Alabama with people finding out that you were in that movie and made that movie?
Yeah, a lot of people found out about it, and they weren't too thrilled about it, but after a while, they learned to live with it.
Did anybody give you any major problems?
Oh, no, just, they thought at first we was promoting porno movies, little children, because we had little children in one of them, and they thought we was doing porno movies with little children. Yeah, they did. They found out it wasn't like that. They found it out. Cause we had them in our stores, in the neighborhood stores, and people would go and get them and watch them, and they knew it wasn't like that. So.
No kid that was used was seeing any of the other stuff. They did their little part and they were gone.
Yeah.
So that was above board. So that didn't make no sense to me.
Who were the kids in that movie?
My sister's son. Okay, and now, believe it or not, he's a minister. I don't see how that experience could have pushed him that way, but you know.
Has he ever seen the movie?
That's a very good question. I've never asked him. I'm not going to his church and asking. I mean,
Speaking of which, that minister in it, how did he feel about the movie when he finally saw it?
He didn't
well,
like it.
he didn't like it, but it was too late. I paid him a minimum amount of money. I actually gave him part of the script, okay, to read. And so he had an opportunity to read it, and I guess he didn't. So you took the little money I gave you, so hey, you signed off on it, so I'm cool with it.
Are there any other questions out there?
In the back.
Yeah. I have a question about the inspiration for the stories. Did you see a doll like that and then write the story? Or did you write the story and then have to go find the doll?
I wrote the story and had to go find the doll.
Where did you find the doll?
It was at a store that sells little miniature parts, a hobby shop. That's where I got it from. I think it was on Kedzie in Chicago. And I think I paid less than $400 for the doll. At that time, that was a lot of money. But he had to have a lot of work done to him because he didn't come like you see him on the screen, you know. And he didn't look like that. And I really wanted him to look like Rick James.
Mission accomplished. He's not dressed like Rick James. Why is he dressed like that?
There's this painting which I love this painting, but I can never remember the name of this painting. It's a woman and a man, and he's got a pitchfork, and there's a
American Gothic by Grant Wood.
That's what it is, right? And I saw the way he was dressed, and I said, that's what I want to dress. Rick James' face, Rick James, and I want to put these farmer clothes on him. Another,
Why?
It just appealed to me. Now, when I do part 2, I'm going to have him looking like the Fonz. He's going to have leather shoes, boots, leather pants, tight. He's going to have brass knuckles on his hand. Hand going to be a little bigger. He's being upgraded. My brother's working on him as I speak. That's going to be a lot of fun.
So wait a minute. Your brother's working on a new version of the dummy?
The same. We're building him from scratch. You know, so the only thing that's going to be different about him is that his hands are going to be able to move and his feet. I want to keep his face the same because I think that making him look like Chucky, do the things that Chucky do, is just not his personality. And the fact that he can move his head and he's always got this look, and I want to be able to his movements to express his emotion rather than his facial expressions and the things that he says.
Speaking of which, whose voice is that?
That was my brother, Keith.
Yeah. Very, very good. Right back here, Bob, yeah.
Was there any significance to her putting the sleeves on his arms, like, for the narrative?
Because his face was brown, and I just thought white hands and a brown face. Yeah, so we just decided to darken him up a little bit, his arms. I actually think that was a pair of socks, wasn't it?
It could have been. Cut the bottom part off of them. Yeah.
So I think we had at least another couple of questions, and then we want to talk about Tales from the Quadead Zone. Right back here, yeah.
So this has been almost a 20-year debate between me and my buddies from Georgia. The puppet's tongue.
Mm-hmm.
We always thought it was bacon.
Wrong. It was made, we took a coat hanger, my brother did, and he bent it to make it look like a tongue, and then he used this, what was this stuff called that he used, Shirley? He used a certain thing, plastic, a certain liquid plastic, and he made the tongue with that. That's how the tongue was. Bacon doesn't sound like a bad idea, really, now that I think about it.
And so like, what's on the tongue? Because it looks like there's like some...
That's his love juice. Oh, what actually was it in reality?
I might not understand what that is.
Well, see, that when he puts that on a woman, it gets in her pores, and it makes her more, you know, liking what he's doing to her.
Is that like a real thing, or is that?
Actually, it was the real substance was lotion. You know, just plain old lotion, skin lotion.
Does plain old lotion do that to a woman?
This lotion did.
I've got a lot to learn about lotion. So after this, well, actually, you were already working on Tales from the Quadead Zone before this.
Yeah, I had the brothers was already shot. I had the brothers already done. Okay, and interesting thing that, well, if you guys would listen real closely in the scene where he's making out with Shirley, it was so funny to me, I was laughing. I was actually working the camera, and I had to... It was just fun, that's all right.
So Shirley, what did you think when you first read the script, or he told you about what you had to do in the movie?
I want to do it, I'll do it, I want to do it, let me do it.
She would have killed me if I didn't give her that part.
How did you guys meet? How do you know each other?
Through a mutual friend. Yeah. Yeah.
So was it
No. Actually, to be truthful with you, a lot of people say, here's a man who has never made a movie and is gonna make this movie. Okay, I wanted to help get it financed by friends and other associates that I knew. Nobody would put up $1. Nobody. And so I had to do it, like I said, my mother and my money got the movie made, you know. And so we had a limited budget, so we did the best we could with what we had to work with. You know, I don't understand $250 million to make a movie. I don't get that. That's just, I can make 1 million movies for that much money.
How much did these movies cost to make?
A little under 10 grand for our Black Devil Doll, and that included the camera, the editing block, the lights, the sound equipment.
It included buying all those things?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how much, like, if you didn't include the purchase of all those things, do you suppose the budget was?
About $4,000.
$4,000, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you got it out there, and then like 30 years later, all these people are still going and seeing it.
That's amazing to me. A whole new generation.
When did you first hear about people being really into your movies? Because people have been paying hundreds of dollars for tapes of them, and like, when did you hear about? Because people said you were.
Louis just, yeah, they killed me. But you know, you might want to think about who you're sitting next to. I might be a zombie. No, a guy named Louis Justin came to me. He'd been looking for me for a long, long time. And he told me that, just, you know, that your movie is very popular. I said, yeah, get out of here. That's 30 years ago. I said, yeah, you know. And so we start talking, and he wanted the rights to Black Devil Doll and Tales from the Quadead Zone, which I gave him. So I thought that was his motivation for saying that, you know. Then he took me, I guess it was maybe, I can't even remember the first place. It's been about 3 or 4 months ago. And then I saw people like you, and I said, my God, he's telling me the truth. And I was just pleasantly surprised. So many happy faces, and, you know, something that we'd done 25, 30 years ago. And it was really, just made me feel good about that. That encouraged me really to commit myself to make Tales from the Quadead Zone Part 2. Just the fans and the people that I talked to, they just encouraged me to do that. They pumped me up.
So earlier today you mentioned that you were working on the soundtrack already.
Yeah, I finished, actually I finished yesterday the words, the lyrics for Tales from the Quadead Zone Part 2. Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. And you wrote the words, of course, for the first one.
Yeah. And my brother and me sung it. Yeah.
So you're a pretty good singer?
Oh, I'm a terrible singer. That's why I had to sound like a witch.
I'm wondering kind of how that song might go.
And something like this, if I remember it right. If you like your terror Dalton strong, welcome here, you can't go wrong. Dolls will kill, the dead will too. It's all right here to entertain you.
So when I told Brian here, my friend Brian here, about that we were going to show these movies, he hit the floor because Tales from the Quadead Zone is if it's not your favorite movie, it's top 3, right?
Oh yeah, I saw it about 10 years ago. I got the copy from Scarecrow Video. Someone working there called me and was like, "We got this movie. It's amazing. You got to watch it." And I got together with my friend Zach, and we all got together, and we watched it, and we were just like, that is a real movie. Like, that is 100 times better than 3 Michael Bay movies. Like, that's a real man. And just him tell me that you were because when I heard a few months ago that you were alive, I was like, I heard you were dead for like 8 years. I was like, no, he died. Like, you can't talk about his movies. He's dead. He started that rumor. But it's just incredible that you hear, like both of you are here right now in Austin, Texas. It's insane. It's so awesome.
I'm glad to be here. See all these happy faces.
So we're about to watch Tales from the Quadead Zone. This is one that like almost nobody has seen. Set us up.
Okay. It's a good movie.
Quadead.
Quad means 4, and you know what dead means. He set himself up for that, didn't he?
So what does the 4 mean if there's only 3 tails?
Well,
was it because you had the 4 originally and he dropped it? But
yeah, but when I got through with 3, I had enough time. I was going for anywhere from 70 to 90 minutes, and I reached my targets. That's okay. I can't call it 3 Quadead Zone. So I just said, well, I'll leave the title. And then anyway, I do 2, which I am going to do 2. If I can squeeze in 5 stories, then we'd be all straight. And 3 is 8. Works for me.
I think it's going to be just fine with everybody, really. I was going to see if we have maybe one more question in the audience before we go into Tales from the Quadead Zone. And the way it's going to work is we'll run Tales from the Quadead Zone, which is, because there are only 3 stories, it's a pretty short movie actually. And then after the movie, you guys will be in the lobby, and they've got stuff for sale, but please just feel free to get in the line and come over and say hi and take a photo. Please.
Y'all see what I got hanging with me, don't you? I got it hanging with me. Y'all can go out there and get y'all some, let it hang with y'all too.
So who did that artwork?
He's going to do the artwork for Tales from the Quadead Zone Part 2 too. Yeah.
It's amazing artwork. All right, so somebody in this audience is going to have a really pressing, great question here. Anybody? Nobody has. Yeah, Max does.
I want to know if you've had any contact with the guys that did the remake of Black Devil Doll from Hell.
No, because I'll probably be tempted to just. First, I'd laugh at him because I've heard such crazy things about the movie. Then I'd say, man, you got a lot of nerve.
So did you hear that those guys who made that remake passed away?
No, I didn't hear that, but let's start that rumor.
You heard that those guys passed away?
Yes, I'm going to spread that rumor.
Tomorrow, Monday at the latest.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, all right.
Before we start the next movie, we have a few prizes to give away. Who can come up here and do their best Black Devil doll impression? Like, stand right here and do it for us. Who wants to volunteer to win some prizes? There's got to be some. That guy, he raised his hand so fast.
This guy's been watching this movie since, like, he's from Georgia. And a lot.
Stand right here. Let's show the audience some stuff. Let's do it. It's project.
It's not loud enough. It's not good enough.
I kind of have to sound like El Duce to do it. But, bitch. Wake up, bitch.
That'll work. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Any other questions before we go to the brilliant Tales from... Okay, right there.
Chester, was that you as lover number 2?
No, but I had to do his voice because he died. He was murdered all the time I got to the editing part. And actually, okay, the preacher, he got acid thrown in his face. I don't know by who. The bar, you see, burnt down. I think that was for insurance money, if you ask me. And he died. I was told that I know he was dead because I saw the obituary. It was said that his girlfriend had poisoned him. Okay. And I was told that because of the scenes he had with Shirley, but there wasn't. It was a kiss and that was it. I mean, you know, so that made no sense to me. No.
Can I just hang on a second? So during the course of the making of this movie, the bar that you filmed it in burned down. The preacher got acid thrown in his face, and then that guy got murdered.
When all that started happening, I hurried up and got it edited. I hurried up with the music. I hurried up. I didn't want to be next.
Are we going to be okay from just watching it?
Yeah, nothing really strange happened in that one.
All right, that's a lot to take in. Okay, so what bad happened during the making of Tales from the Quadead Zone?
Nothing that I'm aware of.
Okay, that's good. All right, that's
and nothing ever happened when it was being shown either. So you guys are safe.
All right.
The drummer passed away that was on it.
Oh, yeah.
During the course of the making of the film?
No.
Oh. In the 30-odd years intervening.
A lot of people passed away that time.
Okay, I see. All right, so we're gonna get on with Tales from the Quadead Zone, and would you say this is your masterpiece so far?
No, my masterpiece is going to be Tales from Quadead Zone Part 2.
All right.
I got 5 unique stories, and I'm going to have so much fun bringing this movie to you guys. Yep.
And do you want to can you give us one hint about one of the stories?
Okay. There's no children in the audience, is there? Okay. Black Devil Doll 1.5 is about a couple and they're swingers. The husband loves to watch his wife have sex with a man or a woman or both. And he likes to watch and he gets off on that. That's the kind of games he likes to play. He buys the doll. Can you imagine where we're going with that? And the doll gets him tied up to a chair, and he watches this doll make oral love, or she make oral love to the dial. I got to be very careful the way I shoot this because I don't want it to end up being an X-rated movie, and so it is a funny story. It is it's hilarious. That's one of the stories. And after that's done, the dial is through with his wish. The dial turns to them and says, "Now we're going to play one more sex game. It's going to be my sex game." And I'm not going to tell you how that's going to end. You just have to see.
All right, we got one more question from Nick up here. Yeah.
So the doll's been around to 5 people now, 7 if you can't be couple.
Well, no, more than that.
Is it ever not sex? Like,
Oh yes, yes it is. In a script that I've written, which is going to take a lot of money to make, so it's on the back burners. He's going after revenge.
Okay.
A woman dies, and she wants her.
Is it sexy revenge?
She wants her revenge, not sex revenge, but revenge. And the guy she wants his revenge against is the Godfather. So it has had a lot of stuff in it, but it's going to be kind of pricey to make. There's just no way for me to get around. I can't make that in for the kind of money, the budgets I'm working with right now. So somewhere down the line, if I get lucky, I'll be able to make that movie.
Like the crime Godfather?
Yeah. He has a brothel house, and you can imagine what's going to happen there. He's got a gambling operation. Okay. He's got a narcotics. Oh boy. All kind of stuff. Okay, but
how much money do you need to make that?
To make it the way I want to make it, I would say at least maybe $150,000. Which in some instances, that's more money that's not enough money to do a catering for a week in some movies. You know what I'm saying? They spending $200-300 million. My God, But I always believe that the stories is what's important. If you got a story to tell, and you do your writing very correctly, and you do that, you'll be okay. Because there's a lot of movies we all sit here and know that have been made for $200 or $300 million, maybe not 300 million, but $200 million, and they suck. Okay? Because the storylines is just, I just say, "Oh my God, what did you spend the money on?" And all I see is buildings blowing up and people flying across the sky and robots and this and that, but I don't see a real story. And so,
cars, and he's gonna give us some of them cars, maybe.
give everybody here one of them cars, huh?
I'll take a car. So, all right. So we're gonna watch Tales from the Quadead Zone, and I want to thank so much. It's been such a pleasure to visit with you, and we'll visit with you more after the show out in the lobby while you guys are out there signing autographs, taking photos. Chester Turner.
Thank you.
Shirley.